Alright, welcome to another edition of Psoto Desperado Plays Star Wars The Old Republic. I'm going to just do some heroics and listen to a couple of videos. I'm going to relax because I'm a little tired. And let's see. Alright, before I get started, let me go ahead and play this video. This video is the Finance Zone breaking. Candace Owens just dropped a massive bombshell.
To ask for the keys and we're...
Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. Dylan here. We have a major bombshell today from nobody other than Candace Owens. She has officially teamed up with Donald John Trump to save America. And she is now coming out and exposing the truth about everything going on, okay? She's also exposing the truth about the elite Democrats that you do not want to miss. And she's also exposing the truth about the whole situation taking place with Taylor Swift, Selena Gomez, Elon Musk, Vivek Ramaswamy, and Donald J. Trump. So Candace Owens, she's doing a lot of research, a lot of diving in that we're going to listen into. Now, before we jump in, we're going to read the Bible. We're going to pray because God comes first. Amen. Comment amen down below if you believe that. Today's Bible reading is from the book of Romans chapter 8. And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose. Amen. So comment amen down below. And now let's bring on Candace Owens. So Candace Owens is actually now exposing the truth about Hollywood. This is absolutely insane. And as you guys know, Donald Trump appointed Mel Gibson to expose the truth about Hollywood too. Candace Owens. Let's bring her on. Let's listen in.
All right, guys. Happy Monday. I'm sorry that I'm running 7 minutes late. You guys are killing me right now in the live chat. I'm so sorry. Anyways, topics today are going to be great. First and foremost, the mass deportations of illegals is reaching peak comedy right now in the United States of America. We have Selena Gomez crying on Instagram. Trump fans are celebrating. And the president of Colombia, in response to what is going on, has called Trump a white slaver. So I'm confused.
What?
Also, I did an Instagram live over the weekend about Justin Baldoni. It went very viral. I told you last week we are completely done with that story. I lied. Welcome back to Candace.
I love Candace Owens, guys. She's honestly helped Trump so much win against Kamala Harris because she does so much research. She gets the truth out there. Let's tune in, guys.
All right, guys. We are going to start with Selena Gomez because it's funny and we all need to have some funny on a Monday.
It's funny, but it has a lot of irony and truth to it, too.
First and foremost, the backstory of all of this leading to this moment. Obviously, we are all following this. It's hard to avoid in the news. Essentially, I know some of you guys disagree with me politically, but Trump is in fact delivering on the mandate to round up illegals. And I also want to say at the top of this, I like Selena Gomez. I was a huge Wizards of Waverly Place stan. I'm happy for her that she has found love again and is getting married to Benny Blanco, I think his name is. So I'm not a Selena Gomez.
I thought she married Justin Bieber. What's going on? I can't keep up with all this nonsense.
Hater. I think it's a little annoying that she's always like, I need a social media break every 2 weeks. And I also don't think she's the greatest singer. I prefer her as an actress, but all around, like, I'm rooting for her. I want things to be good for her, like I do for all of these child actors that seem to go off course. But yes, Trump, one of the mandates, one of the reasons that we did vote for him was to round up illegals, you know, adios amigos, au revoir Haitians. It is what it is. And it is, in fact, exactly what we wanted. I'm sorry, I cannot sugarcoat that for you guys. I can't lie to you. We are tired of the crimes that shouldn't be happening, first and foremost. Like, there's nothing more infuriating than turning on the news and learning that some young girl, college student, lost her life and was killed by someone who shouldn't be here. There's nothing more infuriating than having to pay taxes and learning that the taxes that you don't want to be paying are going to people that are not citizens of this country. Okay, so anyways, we've been seeing the footage nonstop of criminals getting rounded up immediately. Trump got to work. And the best part of this, by the way, is that we are learning their rap sheets. And we are learning that these individuals are child rapists. Our federal government knew where these child rapists were living. And essentially, the Biden admin told them, you're not allowed to round them up. Okay, I guess, I don't know what this is a part of. We're accepting, we're loving. They knew where these criminals were, and it took Trump getting into office and Tom Homan devising a plan to start rounding them up. It is mind-boggling. And what is incredible is that when we see them rounded up and they're caught on camera for these ride-alongs and they're asked questions, they're rude. They're confident. They're angry that, that Trump's in office. And
yeah, I feel like Trump's actually being super nice to them. He's flying them back to their own country on U.S. dollars dime. In other countries, when you break in illegally, a lot worse crap happens to you. So, yeah, be thankful Trump's actually being nice to you for breaking the law.
And they're talking trash. Zero respect for the law, and they want us to know how little they respect the law. Take, for example, this Haitian migrant.
Why would you want them in our country anyway if they're so disrespectful to you? Doesn't make... why do people feel so bad for criminals having to follow the law? I don't get it.
This was caught in a Fox News ride-along. Incredible rap sheet. Truly such a criminal. Watch this clip from Fox News, which took place, by the way, this roundup in Boston.
I thought it was a nude.
I'm not going back to Haiti.
Whoa!
Is this illegal alien from Haiti? ICE says he's a gang member with 17 criminal convictions in recent years.
Holy crap.
You feel me? Yo, Biden forever, bro. Thank Obama for everything that he did for me, bro.
What?
So, again, for the people who have different politics to me that watch this show, maybe just for the culture element, when you hear that, when you hear someone that has a rap sheet and has 17 crimes have been committed, right? 17 in this country. And we are talking about violent crimes that have been committed. And he's just like, thank you, Biden. I love you and I hate Trump. How does it actually make you feel?
Yeah, and what liberals in their right mind are like, no, we need to keep him here. It's like, they have criminal records and they broke in illegally. Why do you feel like we don't owe them anything?
Seriously. Does it make you convert a little bit in your mind? Maybe we'll get you there. Anyways, this is what we were expecting. What we were also expecting was the emotional side of the argument, because immediately when Trump's in office and we start being told, what about the children? These families, we're breaking up families. That guy right there, he might be a felon, but he's also a father. That seems to be the argument that I at least see being made all the time this year, breaking up families. And look at this child crying for his mommy or his daddy. And that argument in particular drives me insane because it's, guys, that's what happens when you break the law. Doesn't matter whether you're a citizen or you're not a citizen. If you break the law, okay, let's say you're just a random guy who shoots someone, you go to prison, you get separated from your family. That's a consequence. Actions sometimes have to meet their consequences. And, that's on the parent to not do that to their child, not for society to say, well, I know he killed 10 people, but we're not going to put him in prison because how unfair would it be for their child? I mean, that's nuts, right? And so you have these sappy arguments, and I will say that they do not work on me in particular when I am as pregnant as I am at this moment, but they do always seem to find a home in Hollywood. Celebrities love a good sappy argument. They are incredible at being emotionally swayed. They're the best, very easily emotionally swayed. Apparently not when illegal murders a young woman like Laken Riley, but definitively when they start hearing that families are being separated. So
it's the freaking brainwashing of the liberal media. Like, oh, we feel like Trump's a racist. Trump's trying to or Joy Reid and Whoopi and Joy Behar and Sonny Hostin being like, Trump's coming in and taking your family members away from you based on their skin color if they're brown. It's like his main prerogative is getting criminals who are like actually committing crimes in America who are illegal. Like, who would be against that?
Selena Gomez, okay?
I guess Selena Gomez
popped up onto Instagram and she started crying about the mass deportations of Mexicans, presumably because she's Mexican, and so she felt compelled. I'm sure maybe she was getting pressure from people in the comments that were saying, you're Mexican, so you have to take a stance on this and say that it's wrong.
Crazy.
For people to have to face any consequences for being...
And by the way, I'm Mexican too, okay? I'm Hispanic. I know y'all might not know that I look Hispanic, but I have family in Mexico. I have family from Mexico. My ancestors came here from Mexico, but they came here legally. They did the hard work. I have my family members, they did the hard work. It's a big slap in the face to come in here illegally. That's one thing. Okay, fine. But then to come in here illegally and then also commit crimes here in our country, it's like, it's disrespectful to all the people who worked very, very hard and sacrificed a lot to actually come here legally, right?
Law, and so she did that. She obliged, and she started crying on her Instagram page. We're going to roll that clip for you right now.
I want to say that I'm so sorry. So many people are getting attacked. The children.
I'm trying not to laugh.
I don't understand.
Oh.
I'm so sorry. I wish I could do something, but I can't. I don't know what to do. I'll try everything.
Cry more. Cry more. You didn't cry enough, Selena. If you had cried more over the past 4 years, more people would have showed up to vote for Kamala. It's because you didn't cry enough. That's why Trump won. I'm just kidding. Oh.
I'm not laughing, you're laughing.
I am, Candace.
It's funny for a she put a little Mexican flag. So it's like, I don't know. Everybody like loves a flag during debates. It's like a Ukrainian flag, an Israel flag. You know?
Yeah, let's pop up the emojis. That'll make everyone feel better.
And a Mexican flag, and she's just trying to like relate to the people. Like, oh, but this comment, I was in stitches. This user just wrote underneath that, you know, he's like, girl, he used the B word, BITCH, can barely even pretend to speak Spanish. And yeah, here she is, just like relating to the amigos. And there's another reason why it's also funny. And so I want you to level with me, irrespective of what you think, even if you're on the left and you just love the idea of, I don't know, mass illegal immigration, you have to acknowledge that celebrities in general, their solution to problems are funny. Because regular people, it's knowing that she set up her phone to cry that really gets me. Because it disturbs me. It's like what I said last week. Celebrities don't know they're insane, right? They don't know. I don't know how much money has to be in your bank account before you trip over into the insanity. I don't know how much money you have to have before you start sending text messages about being Daenerys Targaryen and having little monster dragons. Like, I need to know what that number is that hits in your account, where then you're like, I'm just crazy. But I guess they're called eccentric because rich people are called eccentric, poor people are called crazy. But that level where they get to eccentric, where it's picturing her setting up for that makes me laugh, right? So you have a feeling coming on. Imagine you in your life, like something.
Oh wait, this is the moment where Candace Owens does a Selena Gomez impression, guys. Don't skip this part.
Happens, I don't know. You start crying hysterically. Like, nobody grabs their cell phone. Think about the steps there, right? I'm sad. My life.
I'm sorry, guys. I love Candace.
Sorry. My life, is it going? That's so sorry.
You know what's funny about this whole thing is Selena Gomez is 100% watching this whole video because Candace Owens always goes viral.
I don't know what is happening. It's weird. It's the moment of consciousness that is weird for me. That you're thinking about your family. It tells me you're not really sad, because when you cry and you're actually super upset about something, the last thing you're thinking about is social media. You're not trying to capture social media. So this only works if you're being filmed. Like, if you're on a reality TV show and then you're being filmed and so somebody captures you crying, then I might be like, oh, that's actually really sad. Like, you know, Kylie Jenner's crying, obviously doesn't want the production around to capture this, but she's her own producer. She's her own videographer, and she's crying. So I think it's weird, and I think it's funny, and I think it's okay for us to objectively embrace the fact that Selena Gomez crying on Instagram is funny. And
it's just funny.
We have to tell them that it's funny and it's weird, so they stop being weird and funny in that way. So anyways, just wanted to show you that. So no hard feelings. Seriously, I hope you have an amazing wedding, but it's a little annoying that you did that. So on top of that, this is also hilarious, if you missed it over the weekend, was this battle of the who's the tough guy between the Colombian president and Trump. Okay, so this is the Colombian president.
Oh my gosh. Of course. What? Is he like, isn't that a thing that, I don't even want to mention what he's doing.
It's funny for a lot of reasons. We're going to get into that. But essentially, part of rounding up these people is we're going, okay, where are you from? You're from Colombia. You got to go back to Colombia. Okay, I'm sorry, hombre. And so Trump gets a military plane together, and he sends all of these illegals to Colombia. And guess what? The president, that Mr. Gustavo Petro is his name, posts on X that he barred U.S. planes that were carrying Colombian migrants, so these are his citizens, from entering the territory because, quote, the U.S. can't treat Colombian migrants like criminals.
It's so asinine to even do that as a president. That is such a horrible move. You can't mess with Trump like that. Hey, our own citizens broke into your country and we're not taking them back. It's like, they're your citizens, bro.
Okay. He then demanded, so that flight had to divert to Costa Rica. He then demanded that the U.S. put procedures in place for migrants to be, quote unquote, treated with dignity. Okay. And this is weird because last year they accepted deportation flights. There were 124 planes that came from the U.S. and landed into Colombia. But President Petro said that his problem was that these deportees were on military planes rather than civilian flights, and he didn't like the way that the migrants may have been treated, which is a bizarre thing to say on the military flights. Like, nobody's punching them in the face. They're just on military flights. But in his posts on X, he referenced videos that were showing the migrants and they were handcuffs, and they also had their feet restrained. So I'm going to show you that footage here. And for those of you that are listening on audio, you just see a bunch of, it's not families, it's grown adult Colombian men.
They look fine. They're getting a free flight. Like, they probably got fed well. They got a free flight. I mean, it looks fine to me.
And they're all walking, and they have their feet shackled, which you can see. Maybe you can't see from this angle, but you'll see it as we keep going on.
Isn't that a normal thing you do to criminals? Like, am I missing something?
Their feet are shackled, and their hands are shackled. And so this is what has upset the president. He's like, this is inhumane. Why are their hands shackled?
Because they're criminals.
And this might also be what Selena Gomez doesn't understand. She doesn't understand, she says. Like, why are their hands shackled? So let me help you both. Because they broke the law. I don't know if this is like a foreign concept. Arresting. What happens when you get arrested? Your hands get shackled. So you are free once they land into your country, sir, to say, I don't think this is a high crime.
Yep.
And to ask for the keys, and we're free. You can release them wherever you want. These are the forests of Colombia. They can do whatever it is you want. The playas de Colombia, okay? Colombianas. They just can't be in our country. They broke the law.
It's literally like kindergarten stuff. Like, my 4-year-old nephew could understand that. Oh, they broke the law? Yeah, put him in timeout.
And it's tremendous to me as someone who married an immigrant, okay, to go through the process legally. I'm just stunned. Do you guys not know, like Selena crying, Colombian president, did you not know there's an option to come into this country legally? That's I don't know.
Right?
It completely seems crazy. Like, the only way that you can get in is through the southern border and by breaking the law. Because that's not a reality. And the people that go through the process like I do, and it takes years, it just frustrates me when they are signaling to us that the years that we spent, the paperwork, the interviews that my husband and I have had to do, and they get to just go,
lawyer fees. My brother-in-law, they had to pay thousands of dollars in legal fees. I have family members, like, they had to study. I have friends who have had to take the citizenship test, wait for years. Study hard to take that citizenship test. I mean, it's like, it's crazy. It's so disrespectful to like be crying over these illegals.
We snuck in, and so now we want the rights, and we want free handouts, and we want welfare benefits, and that's what we got under President Biden. Anyways, so he, going back to this narrative where the Colombian president, Petro, decides to divert the plane. He's like, oh, I'm a tough guy. Well, it turns out Trump then, this all happened on Sunday, hits Truth Social and on X and basically says, you want to play tough guy? Here's what I'm going to do. He writes, I was just informed that 2 repatriation flights from the United States with a large number of illegal criminals were not allowed to land in Colombia. This order was given by Colombia's socialist president, Petro, who is already very unpopular amongst his people. Petro's denial of these flights has jeopardized the national security and the public safety of the United States. So I have directed my administration to immediately take the following urgent and decisive retaliatory measures.
Let's go! Trump's back, baby! Woo!
1. Emergency 25% tariffs on all goods coming into the United States. In 1 week, the 25% tariffs will be raised to 50%.
50% tariffs? That's amazing, guys. Trump is epic. No wonder he wrote the book, The Art of the Deal. He knows how to negotiate.
Let me tell you why that's really relevant before I read the rest of these. Guess what the number one thing that Colombia exports to the United States? Roses. They're huge flower exporters, okay?
I was gonna think coffee. Isn't like Colombian coffee like super big?
And Valentine's Day is coming up, so this is the time where they just inundated us with their number one product.
That's amazing.
And now Trump's like, oh, okay, you want to play tough guy? Well, guess what? We're going to add a 25% tax, and then it's going to go up to 50% a tariff on you sending all of this stuff in. Going back to his list, he says a travel ban and immediate visa revocations on the Colombian government officials and all of their allies and supporters. Visa sanctions on all party members, family members, and supporters of the Colombian government.
Wow.
Enhanced custom and border protection inspections of all Colombian nationals and cargo on national security grounds. And IEEPA treasury, banking, and financial sanctions fully imposed.
Okay, if you don't love Trump after this, I don't know what's wrong with you. This is the most epic thing that Trump has done so far as president. He's only getting started, okay? Y'all better buckle up, subscribe, because, yeah, we're going to have a lot of epic news coming out on my show.
So he's just not playing around, and instantly, okay, first the president of Colombia, Petro, responds and says, this is all happening on X, by the way, which is amazing.
Yeah.
He writes, your blockade does not scare me because Colombia, besides being the country of beauty, is the heart of the world.
What?
He writes back poetry. He writes back attempted poetry, Trump saying, like, you're going to pay for this financially. But then what happened was behind the scenes, Petro's administration immediately folded, okay? In a late-night news conference, the foreign minister, Luis Murillo, announced that the two countries had overcome the impasse and that Colombia would accept their returned citizens. Okay. But to make the president feel good, he said he's gonna send the presidential plane. Essentially, the Colombian Air Force One to pick them up. Buddy, if you want to send your Air Force One back and forth to pick up...
I have to show you guys. This is what Trump posted on Truth Social right after that. He said FAFO, which means F around and find out. This was right after the Colombian president folded. It sent a message to all the other presidents like, hey, we're sending back the illegals. And if you mess around, we're going to do the same freaking thing to you. F around, find out. Trump posted that on his own page. How epic, guys. Donald Trump actually just came out and released a message about the future of America. Let's tune in.
To further secure America's future and create opportunity for young people, I will end Joe Biden's war on crypto. We will ensure that the future of crypto and the future of Bitcoin will be made in America. Otherwise, other countries are going to have it.
Yeah, Donald Trump, RFK Jr. is also getting behind this crypto wave. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. says his most of his wealth is in Bitcoin. He's committed to the currency of freedom. President-elect Donald Trump launched his own meme coin, his own cryptocurrency coin called Trump Coin, which you can actually get via the link below. You can get your Donald Trump coin, you can get the Bitcoin down below, and you can also get the Melania coin. She launched her own coin as well. Check out all those links for how to. You can just get it with debit card, credit card, super easy, simple, or Apple Pay. They make it very easy. And when you use my link, you're going to get up to $100 worth of free meme coins, free cryptocurrency, just for using my link up to $100. So check that out down below. Otherwise, guys, major bombshell today from Candace Owens. Absolute powerhouse of a woman. God bless Candace. God bless you. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you soon. Bye now.
Let's see if I can play another video. That's interesting because I'm pretty sure that everybody's full of shit and they're just making political decisions, you know, for no good reason. Just silly. Here's a Dark MAGA Kevin, the confession we've all been waiting to hear.
Normally I would say you're not going to believe this, or breaking just in. But this is to be expected. And the question now is, can we figure out where it went? Zelensky claims $100 billion out of the, at the very least, $177 billion that we gave them is somehow missing. I don't know what happened. I'm going to play it for you guys first. And if you don't have the ability, or you would rather not read the subtitle captions, then I'll tell you what I'll read it to you.
Дивіться, я коли чую, і раніше чув, і сьогодні ми чуємо від Сполучених Штатів Америки, що Америка дала Україні сотні мільярдів, 177, якщо сказати більш точно. Така звучала точна цифра, яку підтримували або голосував Конгрес, тощо різні організації. Дивіться, я як президент воюючої країни вам говорю, ми отримали більше 75. Тобто 100 мільярдів з цих 177 або 200, говорять навіть деякі люди, ми ніколи не отримували. І це важливо. Бо ми говоримо про конкретні речі, бо ми отримали це не грошима, а зброєю. Ми зброю отримали на 70 з чимось мільярдів. Є навчання, тренування, є додатковий транспорт, є не тільки ціну на зброю, були гуманітарні програми, соціальні тощо. Але коли говорять, що Україна під час війни отримала 200 мільярдів на підтримку армії тощо, це неправда. Я не знаю, де всі ці гроші.
Look, when I hear, and I heard before, and today we hear from the United States of America, that America gave Ukraine hundreds of billions, 177 to be more precise. That's what the exact figures sounded like, which was supported or voted by Congress, etc. Look, as the president of a warring country, I tell you, we received just over 75 billion. That's 100 billion of these 177, or 200. Some people even say we have never received. And this is important because we're talking about specific things. Because we got it not with money, but with weapons. We got some 70-something billion worth of it. There's training, there's additional transport. There are not only prices for weapons. There were humanitarian programs, social, etc. But when they say that Ukraine during the war received 200 billion to support the army, etc., this is not true. I don't know where all this money is. And he says, I don't know where all this money is. So we'll make this quick. If you guys are looking for a quick read that lays out the whole mess about where our tax dollars are supposedly going overseas, good luck finding something that's both simple and not boring. But this one here just really blows me away. And let's just say that there's this big pot of money, right? And Uncle Sam sends it over the ocean. And suddenly, like, half of it decides to take a detour somewhere along the way. Now, some folks are screaming from the rooftops, hey, where did all that cash go? But All we get back are crickets, silence, radio silence. And when they start pointing fingers at certain politicians, you've got to wonder if someone's got their hand in the cookie jar. There's this vibe on X, primarily, where people are just throwing up their hands. And I've read it in the comment section here on YouTube as well. And they're asking if anyone's actually watching the store, or was. Because Trump nipped this shit in the bud day one. It's like everyone's was in on this secret that the money isn't just helping out, it's taking a vacation in someone's pocket, or better yet, someone's dresser drawer, or at a car dealership buying Rolls Royces. But when you look for books or articles that break this down, and don't look for any financial books over there because they cooked those jokers long ago, they're all either too complicated or filled with so much jargon you need a dictionary to get through a sentence. And that's by design. They really don't want you, me, I, us, any of us to know. So if you want the lowdown, the skinny on this one without dozing off and falling asleep, then you're going to have to piece it together yourself from government reports that are about as exciting as watching paint dry, or from news reports that might as well be written in code, and that code is designed to brainwash and further push propagandize your rhetoric. And let's not even start on how they try to pin this on one guy, like he's the mastermind behind the world's most boring heist. But he was definitely a huge part of it. But hey, maybe one day we'll get some real answers, or we'll just keep shrugging and moving on, because who doesn't love a good mystery? But this is also why they're hell-bent on taking down Department of Government Efficiency, taking down DOGE, because the numbers don't lie. And when you actually have someone out there who's really trying to figure it out and seek out the truth and also report it and enlighten everyone of what's been happening and what's going on, so that essentially it just destroys the Democratic Party in one fell swoop, well, you're going to be met with extreme opposition.
You are in danger. We are only 10 days into the Trump administration, and we've already had the first fatal commercial plane crash in over 16 years with no survivors. While emergency crews are still pulling at least 65 innocent American bodies out of the Potomac River, our president is on TV blaming this deadly crash on minorities and women. So let's not mince words. The president's press conference was despicable, and everything he said was to avoid his own personal responsibility for this tragedy. And make no mistake, Donald Trump is personally responsible for this tragedy. One of the first things he did as president was to fire the head of the TSA. Fire the entire Aviation Security Advisory Committee, who are the people responsible for examining safety issues at airlines and airports. To freeze the hiring of air traffic controllers, a group of essential workers already stretched to their limits, and to fire nearly 100 top FAA security officers. The head of the Federal Aviation Administration himself, a man who was unanimously confirmed by the Senate in 2023 for his skill and competence, was forced to retire 1 year into his 5-year term after facing relentless criticism from Elon Musk because he dared to fine SpaceX for failing to follow safety requirements. And Donald Trump took all of these steps to make us less safe while simultaneously hiring a completely inappropriate and unqualified Fox News host to lead the military and an MTV star to be Secretary of Transportation. And now we have had an unnecessary, tragic mid-air collision that includes the aviation industry and the military. So those deaths are on their hands. We should be having a thorough and transparent investigation on what happened and what went wrong, but we are never going to get that from this administration. What we are getting is press conferences blaming DEI. So let's be clear. From the moment Trump was sworn in, he has done nothing but demonize and undermine federal workers. These humble heroes who go to work every day and keep us safe. The dedicated experts who are trained to help Americans prevent and mitigate and respond to emergencies and tragedies. Lest we forget, Donald Trump deregulated the air safety industry during his last administration, putting oversight into the hands of the airlines so they could make more profit. Since then, doors have flown off, wheels have fallen off, engines have caught fire, and there have been mid-air near misses across the station, which is why for 4 years, Secretary Buttigieg fought to hire more air traffic controllers and improve working conditions. But under the Trump administration, all of that work is in hard reverse. There is a value to competent federal agencies and workers. They keep us safe and they keep us healthy. The Trump administration has already told our health and food agencies to stop communicating with the public about airborne illnesses, about disease risk.
This lady's going on and on and on, but the truth is Trump was very specific on why he did it. It was that DEI shit, and that's what's going on. They can hire all the competent people they want. It's the DEI shit that was putting in people who were blind and all kinds of people with physical, problems that shouldn't be in an air traffic controller's position. She's not being fair, and she's not going over the reasons why he did it, because she wants to make it seem as though Trump is an incompetent, that Trump is making bad decisions, that Trump is causing the crash. It was Trump who did it. It was his influence over the hiring of this DEI people that did it. And it's not true at all. It's just, this woman's crazy.
Risks about food and drug recalls. Hundreds of thousands of people are going to die because of this as well. But the administration's complete lack of interest in our lives is so clearly represented by this horrible airline tragedy. This is what happens when you put incompetent people in charge.
Listen to me very carefully. Trump's been in there for what? Since the 20th? 13 days. Today is his 13th day in there. He's not responsible for that bullshit.
Of huge government organizations or mass fire experts who dare to challenge you. People die. And not just people you don't like. You. Do you feel safe getting on a plane right now? Now that you know that Trump has gutted aviation safety, that there is no head of the TSA or the FAA, and air traffic controllers are overworked and understaffed, and we no longer have an aviation safety committee, and even if and when they rehire those people, their first job requirement will not be competence. It will be loyalty. And how does that help you? Are you willing to bet your life on someone who successfully made Donald Trump or Elon Musk feel special enough? Are you willing to bet your family's life? Because this administration is now putting our lives at risk every single day. Now, no life is worth more than another, but that Army helicopter collided with a plane filled with elite young figure skaters, their parents, and their coaches. People who devoted their life to excellence. Children whose biggest dream was probably to represent their country, and their country failed them. Competence is not woke. Logic is not woke. Safety is not woke. Those are essential, apolitical, necessary qualifications for these jobs. Donald Trump needs to get his priorities straight. His leadership created the perfect storm for this horrific accident to happen. And trust me when I say if we don't do something about it now, it's going to happen again and again and again. We are 10 days into this new leadership, and they are showing us they are incapable of safeguarding the American people the way we have become accustomed. Holding them accountable is mandatory to preserving our safety. To be clear, the Democrats issued a safety warning for aviation last week. The Republicans ignored it, allowed these firings to happen while pushing through the Pete Hegseth nomination as the head of the military, knowing full well he wasn't up to the job. I know politics shouldn't matter here, but they do. And this is outrageous. And if we don't do something about it, then we are all in danger.
That is pure propaganda.
This opposition could be a challenger.
It
could be an attempted assassin. It could be a 223. It could be helicopters and Black Hawks and planes that double as bombs and missiles. And ladies and gentlemen, that's exactly where we are today. Don't be confused or tricked into believing that what we see and hear and read about and experience and have and will moving forward is any sort of strange coincidence or happenstance accident. This is by design. And if by hell or high water, they're attempting to and trying to crush and destroy MAGA Republicans, 47, Trump, the mandate, any way possible, by any means necessary, right? And that includes controlling the thought process and the overall sentiment of the masses and the public by way of utilizing this tool, media, okay? And so they want to paint this picture that Donald Trump ruined the FAA, or he ruined the TSA, or in fact Donald Trump is actually the one behind Boeing's jets just falling apart mid-flight.
Yeah.
And we know that that's
Trying to pin it on.
not even close to being what's reality.
Yep. No, they're just full of shit. Basically, I've been listening to this contrary right propaganda blaming Trump for everything. But what I see is Biden in charge the last 4 fucking years, and Kamala Harris, who are all Democratic lefts. I see them doing things that allow this stuff to happen by not getting involved. And doing DEI shit is not my priority. Personally, I don't think DEI is that big of a deal. But you do want competent people in there that are not blind or missing an arm or whatever. People that are fully capable of doing an important job like air traffic controller. But they were pushing the DEI so hard, good, competent people were overlooked and replaced with these people that have these problems. And as much as I love to, let somebody have a job that, they're an invalid or whatever, that they're sick or they got physical, medical problems, that's cool, if we can get them a job. But the thing is, guys, for some jobs, you don't fuck around. Like a fire, what are they called? A fireman or a firewoman, they have to be able to pick up a body and drag them out. Put them over their shoulder like a sack of potatoes and get them out of harm's way. They can't be just completely ignored or told, well, if I have to drag your husband out of a fire, he shouldn't have been there to begin with. I mean, that's bullshit. These people are just incompetent children. And they are going to fight and fight and fight because they know that through Biden's incompetence and Kamala's incompetence, this country was compromised. The security of this country was compromised. We have been thrown under the bus. And nobody did anything about it for all those years because nobody could. We started seeing towards the end of the thing that Biden wasn't even competent anymore. They should have got rid of him. They should have dismissed him on medical leave. But they didn't because they started putting all this shit in front of him to sign. Who knows who was manipulating that guy? So whenever somebody has power, they're going to say and do whatever it takes to keep it. Because that is what they're about. They're about that power. That lady seems very sincere and very upset. And you know what? I bet you bottom dollar she really believes the bullshit she's saying. Because these people don't just sell it, they use it too. You know what I mean? So anyway, I'm tired. I'm going to relax. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.